Hello, you intrepid and courageous souls who are in the Sacred Union experience. This is Anaiis Salles, and I'm happy to bring you this reading today. We have some very dynamic current energies moving through the Sacred Union, twin flame relationships. There's a lot of healing and releasing happening of old dysfunctional relationship templates, and it is beautiful to observe what is going on in these energies. So let's get into the reading. I will probably do an extended because there's a lot of information here, and I'm happy to go into it with some depth. So the dynamic that is at play has to do with the old dysfunctional template of he-she relationships, divine masculine, divine feminine, however you want to put that in your gender, whatever, right? It's all about energy, and it's time fluid. So whenever you see this, it will hopefully align with where your transformation and transitions process is moving in your ascension journey. So what is the underlying dynamic that is being addressed in Sacred Union? It is the dynamic of codependency. And it is the dynamic of unpacking the codependency in relationship, in he-she relationships, or she or he, however you want to undo it. Doesn't matter to me. That is about not having fully peeled off all the layers of the onion of the core wounds of rejection and abandonment. And these two core wounds most often are intertwined. And they're actually intertwined genetically, which is unnerving when you think about it, but that is how it plays out. So we're looking at the divine feminine leading the way in turning inward and resuming her own vibrant and intense and passionate inner journey of self-love, to understand what is happening and how she is needing to unpack more of her core wound of rejection and abandonment, so that she can stay centered in self-love and radiate that self-love and communicate to her divine masculine. I have some insight into what's happening here, and I'm going to make my adjustments. And so she's communicating to him that some of my choices and actions have triggered your feelings of rejection and abandonment, and some of your choices and actions have triggered my wound of rejection and abandonment. And we've been in a kind of a circular dance, sizing each other up, not wanting to strike, being very careful, but very unsure how to proceed with grace and kindness and love and compassion for ourselves and for each other. So divine feminine, that is where you're riding current energy today. And the card that is representing your current energies in this reading, Spirit Dancer. So you have gone deep within your emotional body, deep within all of your subtle energy bodies and your chakras to say, I have to go deeper. I have to explore this core wound in the dynamic of being in a relationship with someone that I care about, who is not a member of my family, who is not my spouse, who is not my lover. And I'm in the union dynamic with this person, and the wisdom is for me to go inside and unpack the rejection and abandonment core wounds so that I am conscious of what I'm choosing and saying and broadcasting into the heart of our union. So that's where the Divine Feminine begins this reading. And here's what we have coming out from the Divine Masculine. Now, this is very, very interesting, because this is the response that the Divine Masculine is sharing at an energetic level with this spirit dancer Divine Feminine. It's like I'm going to hold the energy while you unpack it, unpeel it, look at it, become conscious of it, and then you're going to literally dance this information over our connection and into my energy field, and I will be listening, I will be listening, I will be listening. So this is where you are right now, Divine Feminine. You have the connection here. And when I first started this reading, it was like, well, can we have a confirmation that we're talking about sacred union? And the card that came out is the Singer of Connection. So that's a validation. And then I asked, what is it that the Divine Masculine is deeply longing for within this sacred connection that he feels he is blocked from receiving? And this is Sylvanus, and this is about the truth. He wants to feel the truth of his feminine within himself, and he wants to be able to visibly see the depth of that truth of his Divine Feminine in the external world, in their relationship. Then next out, we have the Singer of Initiation. So there's understanding on the part of the Divine Masculine energetically that what the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine are going through right now is another initiation process within the union. And the Divine Feminine is doing the dance that will provide the words and the basis for the conversation and the tone of that conversation. And the tone of the conversation, Divine Feminines, if you're resonating with this, is you need to be very, very aware of what you say and how you say it. And I don't mean in the sense of walking on eggshells. I mean in the sense of really sending into your union some true and deep emotional awareness and honesty. So that's the path that the Divine Feminine, these are her current energies now. This is going to continue. Because next out, I asked, okay, that's fantastic. What is blocking the union at this time? And blocking it sufficiently to be generating separation, in the sense that both the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine know that they're out of balance, and so they need to respond to that information. And what came out was the Guardian at the Gate. So this is, in a sense, the union the union protecting itself, which I think is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful notion. And then next out, we have the card for me that represents 0 point energy and changing timelines. So the Guardian at the Gate is assisting this union in coming into a new merger of a new timeline where they are in alignment with the connection. And they're making their adjustments to remain in alignment with the connection. Now next out, we have He of the Fiery Sword. This is all about the divine masculine and his expression of sexuality. Now in sacred union, he is working and purging and transforming how he has chosen to express his sexuality in ways that were not reflective of self-love or wholeness or sovereignty, or for himself, self-love, or for his divine feminine. It's been pretty tricky business. And if you've watched my other videos, you know that this is the divine masculine struggling with just wanting to feel free, sovereign, whole, authentic, and really feeling good. And for some people, this will show up as the dynamic of engaging in Kundalini activities or meditations, tantric sex, which ignites the Kundalini but isn't bringing it into union in a full, the full body's there, but it's very challenging to bring that energy into all of the subtle bodies and have it blend and merge and balance. So while the practice isn't the problem, it's the energy that is being circulated within the practice that is the problem. And when there are codependent entanglements going on, it's a problem. So the divine masculine may have, in his newly awakened and expanded state, having difficulty managing the contracted energy yet of not knowing how to express, this is you, divine masculine, not yet knowing how to express your sacred sexuality in a way that uses your divine wand, the fiery sword, the passion, in a conscious way that honors yourself and your divine feminine. So there's a bit of game playing going on here, and the divine feminine is recognizing that there's a bit of game playing going on, and the game playing going on has to do with codependency and the core wounds of rejection and abandonment. And she is not allowing herself in her self-love to repeat those patterns. So she has been going within and gathering the information and working on transforming those dynamics within herself, and not putting out any blame or judgment or shame energy toward her divine masculine for his confusion, or perhaps for some choices he's making that she's going to have to just sit patiently and wait for those choices to unwind. And she, in the meantime, is going to be taking very, very good care of herself. So here, when I ask, what is it that both divine feminine and divine masculine are longing for in this dynamic, in this connection, especially when it comes to the energy of sharing sexual energy? And what they both want is honesty. They want honesty. And they can deal with honesty. They're aware at this point that they can't control the energies of the union. The energies are going to do what they're going to do. But they owe a debt of gratitude to each other and compassion by being willing to be awake to what the energies just are. And that's the depth of emotional honesty that both divine masculine, you're seeking this, and divine feminine, you're seeking this as well. And you don't know how it's going to play out in terms of where the sexual energy goes. for how it's used. I think the divine feminines are kind of clear about what that's about, and they're really understanding that the sacred sexuality, that energy is meant to be used for conscious co-creation. And so they're going to stay quiet, and they may not even let that energy run within the union. They may be holding on, and the divine masculine feels that it's a holding back, and he's feeling that holding back. Divine masculines, pay attention now. Are you feeling that holding back of sexual energy from your sacred feminine with all the passion that you have for her? Are you feeling that holding back on her part as a rejection of you or an abandonment of, in some way, of the union? That's not what this energy is. The divine feminine is protecting the union, and she is protecting you, and she is protecting herself, and all of this is happening within the container of self-love, love, wholeness, and sovereignty. Okay, so then my next question was, all right, we see that there's a union. We have a sense of what's happening in the current union energies right now. We get a glimpse of what's blocking forward motion of the union. And in a sense, until this gets unpacked, the union can't really move forward. It could move in reverse. And some of you maybe experience a kind of a backward spiraling energy where things feel they're not aligned, and that in fact you're not making progress of coming closer together within the container of your union. It feels like you're moving backward or apart from each other. And that feels strange with the electromagnetic pull, that you have felt the power of that, the creative power of that, and the bliss of that, and the fulfillment of that. So it feels a little bit strange to feel yourself having come into union in the Lionsgate portal, but now feeling this soft, I don't want to call it separation, I want to call it untangling of a dysfunctional emotional template that is about separation. So this is very delicate. So then next I asked, how are these energies going to play out? And what are the current energies that are supporting returning the union to balance? So here we have Salles, which is the beautiful electric energy of the divine masculine. That's you, divine masculine. Here we have unity, which is a beautiful blending of the divine masculine and feminine and source in one unified co-creation stream of energy. And those two energies are supporting the divine feminine. So here you could see we have, in a sense, source blended with divine masculine and divine feminine. Here's divine masculine, here's divine feminine, and she's poised to take action. And what is the action that she's going to take? The action that she's going to take is to go deeper within herself and within the energies of the union to unpack and untangle the dysfunctional template of codependency that forms around core wound of rejection and abandonment. So that's where she's going now, because for many a divine masculine, the core wound of rejection and abandonment could just as likely come from the mother, from the feminine energy, as it could have come from the father. So his father, his mother could be the two, they're undoubtedly part of the dynamic of the rejection and abandonment core wounds. Now you have single parents, you have people who have only had one parent, and it plays out somewhat differently. So this is not going to be for everybody. But this energy is reaching deep into the divine feminine to heal the wound of rejection from the dark mother, the wound of abandonment from the dark mother, so that the divine feminine is not going to continue to run that energy through her system and her neurology and project it out toward her divine masculine, who is expecting to see that from her. It's what he's only ever known. So this is a lot of work. A lot of work that's going on right now. That's very, very beautiful. So here what we see addressing this dynamic of sacred sexuality in the union and how it's going to play out. We have these three cards in alignment: Spirit Dancer, Honesty, and the creative feminine energy, She of the Kruak. And these three energies are coming together to enable the feminine to see, become conscious of, and to make choices so that she's not continuing to trigger herself or trigger her divine masculine with rejection, fears, projection, reaction flares, all revolving around the stagnant energy of rejection and abandonment. Now, the rejection and abandonment wounds develop very early in life. They can develop immediately after conception. If a child is not wanted, it is going to experience that as the amniotic fluid that it is swimming in. Truly, truly, we don't understand this yet, but someday we will. So this is going way, way back into the formation of the person where this rejection takes place. And if a mother and a father have considered aborting a baby, that is a decision, that is an action of rejection. So instead of taking responsibility and being conscious about conception, they then are instead creating a wound of rejection by contemplating or thinking about terminating the life of a child they have conceived. No shade on those who do that. It's a very individual experience and a very individual choice. But we do need to appreciate that energetically it is absolutely the basis for rejection and a sense of abandonment in a forming new human being. To pretend otherwise would not serve our ascension journey. Okay, so I'm going to go and do a deeper dive with this as an extended reading, but I will share with you the guidance that came out. This is from the Secret Language of Light Oracle Healing, and this is still the divine feminine is really holding steady in the heart space in this healing process of healing the issues of codependency within the union. For the divine masculine, we have grounding, which is how to take the new information that's going to be coming through from the divine feminine about the codependency issues, becoming more conscious and having conversations that reflect this shift in perception and consciousness, and the divine masculine grounding the connection with the information that is coming through the gate, and he is integrating into his higher self in response to what the divine feminine is waking up to. So this is very beautiful, and this is what he's going to be about. And then what we have out from Source are whispers. And I feel that this card, this gorgeous card, represents the energy of the whispers that come from deep within the sacred self, from Source, in this already in unity, already in union. Source has always been in union with a divine feminine and divine masculine. It is the human being that has created the separation. Source didn't create the separation. So we have these beautiful whispers of Source energy coming through the 0 point. Hold these cards here. And flowing through the gate to move the union forward, to not be stuck on this side of the portal so close when there's much more ascension energy to be integrated and transformed and shared individually and with the collective. So we have that support from Source, and of course we have the creative energy here. If you will look at this, you can experience that one half of this weaving is this She of the Kruak. Yeah? Okay. So there is clarity and information coming on that is just gorgeous. And this is going to be a time to go slow and be gentle, and for communications to be gentle and compassionate and lighthearted, and whatever your divine masculine is engaged in right now, sacred feminine, just let it be. Don't worry about it. It's out of your hands anyway. You can't control it. You can't control him. So just let it be. Okay, so that's the general reading, and I want to thank you very much for stopping by. And we have an episode of Meeting the Beloved happening tomorrow, Monday, the 19th of August. We hope you can join us, and I will be posting the link for that in the description box of this video, and we would love to have you be part of that conversation. All right, so thank you very much. Please do like, share, and I love the comments. I will reply to them when I can. And I appreciate your stopping by, and I hope you found value in this information. And if it resonates with you, that makes my heart really happy. Okay, bye for now.